Hello and welcome to today's episode of Spill Your Beans. Today our guests, two sisters, the Johal sisters, Rishma and Sonali.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, welcome to the show today.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. We're really excited.
Thank you for having us.
Actually, I'm intimidated. Oh, you're welcome. Anytime. Thanks for coming. When I knew you guys, I did some research on you. And so you had your own show. You're MCs at events. You're on the radio. You're producing. You have so many things going on.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here, I'm like, what am I going to say? What am I going to ask? And I was like, okay, I just let it I put a whole bunch of notes in front of me, and I'm just going to run with that.
All right.
Okay, so first things first. Where's home?
Abbotsford.
That's good old Abbotsford.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Always been here?
No, we were in Mission. I guess originally from Surrey. Then we were in Mission. Now we've been in Abbotsford for a while.
So the Valley.
Yeah.
Born and raised in BC.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And the question is, did you always think you're going to be in entertainment?
Not me, for sure. I feel like Rishma kind of did. Yeah, she's been always shooting for that thing. But me, I think I kind of latched onto her, ended up here.
Okay, like, what do you mean you always knew? Like, as kids, you'd be, like, singing in the dancing, or singing in the car, or...
Yeah, our parents got into watching Bollywood movies quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, we're chronic Bollywood movie watchers, and then we were learning dance and just kind of went there.
We started dancing when we were kids, so we've done Bollywood, we've done hip-hop, we've done Bhangra, Gidda, all of that. So we grew up doing all these types of different dance forms and choreographing, and we started teaching dance. Yeah, so we were always associated with entertainment in one way or another.
Yeah.
Are you still dancing? Are you still teaching?
We kind of retired from the competitive scene a few years ago. We still dance here and there, and teach from time to time.
And we do dance at every family event for sure, yeah.
Yes, like reception parties.
Yeah.
Do you come up with routines and stuff?
No, they're just like, okay, it's time for you, 3, me, and my brother as well. So us 3, it's just like, go dance.
Okay.
Even like just a couple weeks ago, we were just put on the spot, go dance.
I'm going to admit this now. I know with my team, when we would go to a party and all of a sudden a certain song from your old routine would come on, we used to go into our old routine.
Yeah, see?
You still do that?
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome? It's just like, oh, hey, let's go. Yeah. Sorry. You can cut that out because I don't want to admit I was on a dance team. But
that's interesting. I want to know more about that.
Well, it was a friend asking me to help them out. And that's actually how I met a couple of my team members here.
Oh, okay.
And we went traveling. We weren't a very good team to say as in experience wise.
Yeah.
We always went to the competitions, usually finished in the middle, like 3rd, 4th, 5th. Never really quite made it to the top 3. I can do some homework and ask again, but did we ever make it past? I don't think so. Yeah, that's the answer. We were good.
Yeah.
We were the funnest team to be around.
Yeah.
I know every time we went to an event, everybody was like, where are those guys?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
so
Oh,
fun."
that's awesome.
We were that
You're the
crowd.
popular ones, eh?
They were, yeah. I actually was a little bit older than everybody, right? So like I said, I was helping a friend from a soccer team who had put together a Bhangra team.
Oh, okay.
And we'd go to parties and dance and say, hey, you should be on the team. And I got there, and it was probably the funnest thing I have done in a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, you show up to a place that plays music, you get to dance with a whole bunch of strangers, then you go place to place to place, dancing and partying afterwards. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
so hey, any kids watching right now, find a local school and get into it. It actually is a lot of fun, and you learn a lot about your culture.
Yeah.
Like, I did not know that every single move in Bhangra means something.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Jogani, like I can't even name them anymore.
I know.
But every move is actually like a life kind of experience, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
You really learn the language as well.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like all of the Punjabi we know, and it's been so useful, and we have to speak it all the time as MCs. It's really because we did Bhangra, and because we stayed so close with our culture and with our language that, you really truly learn how to speak that. And I think in a country like Canada, it is so useful for jobs, for anything that you're going to do within the community. You're always working with Punjabi people, and it's really an asset.
So speaking of culture then, how has your culture influenced what you do? Whether it's at work, whether it's through your projects and entertainment, whether it's through you're going to school, through what you want to do in life, has your culture influenced you in any way?
For me particularly, yes. I'm currently pursuing a degree. I'm looking at doing my PhD focused on South Asian Canadian history. And my interest in the history of our community, I think, is really influenced by our culture and how people here have continued to keep it alive, and how it's something very important for many of us today. Even when we look back at the Kamagata Maru incident, what that meant for the people then, what that means for the people today. A lot of people didn't know that Sikhs were here 100 years ago. We've been in Canada for a long time. And I think it's connecting to that past, which has really truly done by associating ourselves with our culture.
Wow. We got a little articulated there. That was amazing. And 100 years, about 100, that Gurdwara, I think in Abbotsford is the oldest building in Abbotsford.
It is.
And I know my culture has influenced me. Now, what about you? Like,
I find that originally, as when we started dancing and things like that, my parents were like, oh, you need to learn about your culture. But slowly, it's a big part of me now is connecting it to other cultures, right? We live in Canada, and, you know, there's all these great religions, backgrounds, beliefs, cultures, and it's great that we're holding on to ours, but it's good to learn about others as well. And even through Bhangra, like, it was great that we would go to our competitions, and, you know, it's predominantly just Punjabi people and we're speaking Punjabi, but when you could take those to multicultural events like the one we met you at, that's the part that's amazing, right? It's not only I'm representing myself, but I'm learning about you. And at that multicultural event, there were so many different cultures, Mexican, Irish, Chinese. Yeah, it's awesome.
Punjabi, African, that was unreal. 16 teams, and I think they had the Scottish dance represented. They had impression. It was unreal. And I mean, I think that's the point I made on stage there when you put me on the spot.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, by the way.
Guilty.
Well, now you get to do the opposite. So.
I know, it's in your hands.
Yeah, but you're used to this. You're comfortable in front of an audience and what you're doing. Like, for me, in the moment, I was like, what am I going to say? And then I realized it's like, when we normally go to a dance show or competition, it's always Bhangra or hip hop. So it's always the one genre. Whereas at this time, it wasn't a competition. It was a celebration. And that's the exact word I used. I think it was, hey, we're here for a celebration, not a competition. And I think I pumped up the parents that day. I said, hey, the kids are here to impress you. So be happy with what you've brought forward, because your kids are a reflection of your culture and what you're doing in your life. So that was an amazing concert.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
And I don't know when the next one is, but are you guys going to be emceeing that one too?
Hopefully.
How did you get into emceeing that event anyways? Are you have a website? Do people going to contact you, or people know, hey, we need a host, that's who's going to host?
Yeah, it's kind of just like it's word of mouth, right?
Yeah, word of mouth. In Abbotsford, I think a lot of people do know us, and we've hosted a number of different competitions. Yeah. So it's kind of been just kind of, we don't even know, people randomly call us and we're like, okay. Sure.
You're not worried? All right, we're going to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go backwards a little bit to what you had said about all the different cultures of Canada, and I said how your culture is affected. I just thought of this while you were saying this. Do you think our culture has changed at all? When I say our culture, I'm not talking about mom and dad's culture coming from India, but do you think we have influence, like born in Canada, so we're definitely Punjabis. I know my faith. I go to the Gurdwara. I don't know the Gurdbani like mom and dad do, but I still listen to it. But I think I'm Canadian. Like, sometimes I get offended when somebody says, oh, he's Indo-Canadian. Yeah. I'm Canadian. Yeah. My color makes me Indo. I'm sure I need that description. Yeah. But in the big picture, I am Canadian. Like, my culture is Canadian with Indian roots, I would say. So do you think that Canadian-born Indians are changing the culture at all? Never thought of this before.
Yeah, I feel like, for myself, I feel like I'm picking and choosing almost and becoming that my own person, right? Yeah, like, obviously there's very important parts in our culture, but I'm still born in Canada. There's certain ways I think that I might pick up from another culture, or just as a mainstream Canadian culture, I would say, right? And you pick and choose, and we're becoming like... I don't know, mushed together, like a mix.
You know, I think you're right. I think that's what makes us so pleased to other countries. When you travel, when you put a Canada patch on, you're just accepted. Yeah, and
it's true.
Maybe that's kind of a reflection of who we are and what we do here. Yeah. The multicultural. Okay. So you think it actually makes an impression, eh? Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, well, I'm going to go off into a side topic here. You're in school. Entertainment. How are you going to pursue this? I know we're on a talk show here. Are you going to be teaming up together in the near future again?
We hope so.
We hope so. Yeah, there's a few things that we're probably hoping to do.
We decided that in 2017 we would come up with a new project, and we're kind of, I think, brainstorming right now, so we'll get it going soon. And once it's out there, then we'll let you know. But until everything is confirmed, we can't really say anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well...
Yeah, it's like the cliffhanger. Like, there's going to be something, but...
You know what? When we get back here, I think we're going to get it out of them. We're going to get you to spill your beans. And we're actually going to go to a different topic. We've already talked about where you're from, how you got here, schooling. I'm going to dig a little bit more about why you do what you do when we get back. So,
all right.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. And before we went there, we were talking about getting you to spill your beans about this future project idea. So what did you think? I know we discussed a little bit when they were gone.
I think we're going to have to wait, right, Risha?
We will have to wait.
We will have to wait?
Yeah.
So like future episode, later in the show?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Later in the show?
No,
Future
later in
episode.
the future. Future.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, all
we'll
right.
be back.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep digging here then. And so, for a living, I did some research. You're a teacher.
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, what made you get into teaching?
Honestly, I kind of just fell into the role because we started teaching dance at an early age, and I really enjoy teaching. And I'm a firm believer of curriculum. Like, teaching is obviously education, but also identity formation. Like, I feel like it's really important for teachers to help foster critical thinking in today's world. And I know that, some teachers are all about curriculum and, teach them about the wars and socials in English. But at the same time, I feel like that is very important in today's world with, iPods and iPads. I can't even keep up with the new technology. I feel old. But teaching them critical thinking skills and being able to make those future decisions, right? And so I was very passionate about that, so I went into teaching. And, I feel like that's kind of my calling, and that's where I ended up.
That's a very important point she just made. Critical thinking. So that means don't just do. Ask, why do we do what we do? Why are we doing this? Why the reason behind everything? Critical thinking.
Yes.
Because we are followers. We're given instructions.
Yeah.
Then we follow those instructions, and then we get graded on those. We get judged.
Yeah.
On those instructions and how well we followed them. So learn why are you doing what you're doing and what the reasoning behind it. Like, what is this knowledge going to help you with? Okay. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you said about developing curriculum.
Yeah. I mean, we do have a curriculum that we have to follow, obviously, as teachers, but using that curriculum to do new things with it, allowing the students to have an option of not only writing an essay that I'm used to. I was one of those students who loved, the essay, you write it, you hand it in, you get a decent mark, and that's good. But now I feel that they need options of trying new things. Like, during my practicum, I taught about Montcalm and Wolfe, like these two historical figures, but I allowed them to do radio show talk show, which kind of fit in with what I was doing at the time. And the students loved it. They were cracking jokes. They got to know each other better. And even till this day, that's a highlight of my teaching so far, is allowing them to not, my practicum teacher allowed me to do things like that. She's like, try something new. Don't get them to write an essay on both these guys. Maybe try something fun. And I think that in the future, that gives them those tools to be able to try other things that maybe they're not as comfortable with, and getting out of that comfort zone.
Thinking outside of the box.
Exactly.
And you were like my favorite teacher, the one that took you out after recess,
after
lunch when everybody came in, and it's like, you know what, we're going to go read outside today.
Yeah.
Go fun. Yeah, you would have been one of my favorite teachers.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, what age do you teach?
I'm high school.
I graduated.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is the future. You're gonna stay with high school students. Are you thinking of going maybe university or?
Personally, I like working with high school. I have thought about in the future going back to school and maybe pursuing something like a professor. But so far I love high school atmosphere and being able to work with those, they're like fresh brains. Like, when they're in university, they're they know who they are.
I was just
mostly.
gonna go there.
Yeah.
Elementary, you're kind of babysitting.
Yeah.
High school is the development.
Yeah.
I think most mannerisms and habits are formed 13 to 16 kind of. Like, you have your the lessons you've learned from your parents at a young age. Those are instilled without even knowing it.
Yeah.
But when you're 13, 14, it's like, oh, I want to do this. So the dreaming aspect starts to kick in, or reality starts kicking in, and you're like, okay, I better start focusing. I'm going to be a doctor or a lawyer. So you take those electives. So you're in the stage of actually creating that impression on people and developing that brain. So yeah, I think university, like you said, you got one professor, 300 students, you're just a voice in a big crowd.
Yeah, there's no connection there.
If they don't come to class, you don't care. There's no attendance or anything, right?
Yeah, no, and I know as a high school student, I was one of those really quiet students who did their work, and so now I kind of I noticed them in the back.
You were the quiet student?
Very quiet, very
really?
quiet.
Oh.
We were both really quiet students. We were nerds, really.
Yeah,
I was.
Hey.
Nothing
wrong with that.
Yeah, I always sat in the probably like the one seat that the teacher would avoid making contact with, and you just do your work and you hand it in. And that's good.
And how are your
grades?
So
now pretty good.
Okay.
But now I realize like some of those students just need a little like to enjoy themselves a bit more. Like I'm not gonna say I had a pretty good experience in high school, but letting them have more of a voice in the class, right? They sometimes just need a little connection or the little nudge, and I'm able to kind of give them that.
You know, I remember particular teachers, and the subjects were mainly sciences, but it was when they expected more of you and taught differently, you resonated with them. You kind of couldn't wait. I was like, oh, I can't wait for that class. And even without trying more, or being asked to try more, you gave more. And you did better. And I 100% agree. So, so any teachers watching, any advice to how to make their class more entertaining? Like, I know everybody has their own way of teaching, and you're not telling them how to do their job, but just some advice to other teachers watching. Say, I have trouble having kids connect. Do you have a trick or anything?
For me, like you said, everyone kind of has their own thing. For me, it was always changing it up. Like in the don't give them like 2 things to do in the classroom. Make the most of it. If you have 90 minutes, try splitting it up into 20. Maybe a video, maybe collaboration with students. I know some students are very shy, but slowly nudging them into working together. I find that they were more connected with each other and the curriculum as well. So for me, it was just changing up the pace.
Time goes quicker.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look at the clock.
Yeah.
Oh, it's already an hour's gone.
Or it's like 60 minutes of worksheets, or it's like 20 minutes of worksheets, 20 minutes of videos, 20 minutes of collaboration. So for me, it's just changing up the pace. And then I don't get bored either.
Well, let's change the pace one more time then. And yourself. So we're talking about school. You mentioned you're in school. You're teaching school and you're in school.
Well, I'm going back to university.
Oh, you're going back, so you're not in school right now.
No, but I still have to do all of my preliminary work before I go to university. So I'm going back for my doctorate. And I'm doing the opposite of her. I want to teach university students.
Okay.
So basically for the same reasons. But I find that when students are going to university, they've decided what they want to do, or they know what direction they're going. So they're interested in talking about topics more than high school students. High school students are kind of just learning, I think, random things, and they don't know why. They're trying to decide why. Whereas university students are more passionate, and they're interested in speaking about specific.
High school students are passionate too, okay?
I guess.
Sports and partying, and girls or guys. The opposite side, No, the passion is everywhere, I think. As you're saying, they come to you a little more honed, and with a purpose or idea of where they want to go. Okay, so you want to develop.
But I agree with critical thinking. Critical thinking, I think university, you learn how to question everything, everything around you, like why is this happening? And then you sort of learn to use that in your regular life and your daily life, and you develop that. So both, I think they go hand in hand, really.
Okay, so you were going into your doctorate for cultural studies. Now, is there a reason, like, are you wanting to teach this to other? Well, I guess no, you'd be teaching it to everybody, right?
Yeah.
So why cultural studies? Why particularly seek culture, history of Canada and the States?
I think it has more to do with being involved in our culture as well. I think I grew up being curious about that. And for a long time, I didn't know about a lot of the stuff, a lot of our past. I didn't know that Canadians were here 100 years before. It's not really something we cover in the curriculum. It's really glossed over. Now they're saying that will be changed. But I think that interest, and I was like, oh, this really happened. And I started to read more about it, wanted to learn more about it, about the people who first migrated here. I mean, just think about the courage that they had moving to another country so far away, where now most of our parents have, we have a house, we have food. They'll be like, oh yeah, you should become this, you should become a doctor. And we're like, okay, yeah, we'll become doctors. Or I'll think about it. But it's given to us, right? We didn't have to work for it, but these people migrated so far.
I think you're exactly right. Everything has been paved for us already. Like, we don't have to go find out what's on the other side of that mountain.
No.
We don't have to trek across the country to find new land, to put our stake in there and say, okay, we're going to live here. Like, everything's been done for us. The railroad's been made for us. The power lines are already done. Like, everything is already in place. And then, when you're going to school and you kind of wake up late and you're sluggish and you get a ride and your parents tell you, you guys got it lucky. I used to have to walk to and from, and it was an uphill both ways. And I've shared this before, but my dad's story is true. Like, a little bend up north in India, and no school in his bend, so he had to go about 20 kilometers to get to school. And it was a journey, like down a mountain, across a river, up a mountain, living in a mud hut. And we never tore the mud hut down. We kept the hutti in front of the house that we rebuilt, just to remind ourselves. Like, half of it kind of fell down recently, but the other half is still standing there. And it's literally a tube and one wall, where that's everybody's bedroom, the other wall, that's everybody's kitchen, and then the out. That's it. That was the home. There's no plumbing, there's no wires or electricity, there's no taps. Like, it's a wow.
Yeah.
And for them to get up and create this, like, well, how am I supposed to top that?
Yeah, I know, right?
How can I possibly achieve that much in my life when I've already they went from here to here? Now I'm starting right here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've already got this big whole advantage. Now, how do I even grow 1% of what they've done?
It's crazy.
How do we do it?
I know.
You were going to teach about this, right? And so your passion is because you want... See, now my passion to learn came when Dad told me that the Guru Granth Sahib is all written in rhyme. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea. Every single page, from start to finish, everything is in rhyme. And like, So do you know Gurbani?
A little bit.
Yeah. Can you read and write Punjabi?
I'm learning how to read and write right now.
Okay.
Because I need it, actually, for my degree.
It's insane. I'll tell you, I taught myself because we were in India, and every time I wanted to catch a bus, we were doing a tour, and you ask a guy, it's like, okay, I want to go here, Gary bus for you. And he'd be like, get on that one.
Yeah.
So you get on that one. And then, sure enough, you've gone on every bus now.
Yeah.
So you get back, like, okay, now I want to go somewhere different. And somebody tells you to go on that same bus.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I know that bus is going over there. Why are you telling me? And then somebody told me, people are going to tell you odd stuff. Learn it yourself.
Yeah.
And so I can read a newspaper, but not handwriting.
Okay.
It's like gibberish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you already know what the language looks like.
Yeah.
So imagine somebody handwriting all those little,
Yeah.
it's impossible. Have you heard recently about the rumor that they say about 20, 30 years from now that Punjabi will be obsolete?
Yeah, I heard that.
What do you think about that?
I really don't believe that. Seeing our community here, I think just in BC, everyone speaks Punjabi, and I think it's gonna be going for a lot longer, especially Punjabi music and Bhangra music. Everyone listens to it, whether you even understand it or not. And I find that a lot of people here are interested in learning Punjabi too after they hear that music. So I feel like we'll be going a lot longer.
Yeah, I think we're doing a pretty good job here.
I think we are. I think culturally a lot of the kids want to keep their heritage and know about it. And I think the key point you mentioned is the music. Now you notice there's Bhangra music and hip hop. The dhol is picked up in a lot of different genres of music too now. I think that culture will get more people tuned into that. Now, I know I mentioned Punjabi speaking, so you know what? Let's talk about how you get a hold of these guys. So if you want some Punjabi speaking MCs at your event, let us know. How do we get a hold of you? Is it a website, information?
You can contact us via social media. I'm Rishma Johal on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter.
Yep, and I'm Sonali Johal on Facebook and Instagram, no Twitter.
Yeah, she seemed really excited about that.
Yeah.
You were like,
I always post everything when hosting events and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to stay good on my social media game.
Okay, so on your social media, your other events where you're going to be emceeing, do you plug them too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, make sure you check out their page. So if there's any gigs, any concerts, competitions that you're going to be doing, they're already on your site as well?
We'll be posting them
Okay.
as soon as we
As they come
update
up,
stuff.
we usually just
Yeah.
start
Okay.
posting away.
So yeah, if you're looking for something to do, you got a free weekend, and hey, maybe there's an event going on. Make sure you check social media.
Yeah.
I have to thank you guys so much for coming here
Yeah.
and helping, spilling your beans. I'm listening to my voice right now, and you guys, I said it in the break there, that you enunciate very well. I feel like I have to learn to do that better. So you taught me something today. This is great.
No, it was fantastic
Yes.
being here, and you did a great job
Yeah.
putting us on the spot for a change.
Yeah.
I like to be on the other side
I
rather
know,
than this
I know. The
Do you want
size
to
of
trade spots
it.
you can put me on the spot if you want.
I think that will make a really interesting episode. We should try that.
You know, we should actually do that.
Yeah, that would be
Oh, yeah?
fun.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
going to do it.
Oh.
Well, folks, thanks for tuning in today. Before we get into them interviewing me, I think we better call this a day. And make sure you check our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube channel. We'll have their links on as well. We'll have it also on the bottom of the screen during the end and the credits. So make sure you reach out and have them host some of your events there.
Fun.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
Till next time.